We are the people, 老百姓。We gonna bury you, CCP。
觀眾朋友，大家好，歡迎收睇每日滅共新聞。我哋係消滅邪惡中國共產黨嘅新中國人。今日2024年12月11號星期三，而家係美東時間晚上11點。我係 Karen。當選下任美國總統嘅川普喺當地時間12月5號喺社交媒體上宣布提名大衛柏杜為美國新一任駐華大使。大衛柏杜喺2019年嘅公開講話就已經強調，中共致力於推動共產主義全球擴張，並通過一帶一路等計劃增強國際影響力，同時加強對國內嘅全面控制，例如社會信用系統同宗教壓制等。佢認為中共對美國自由構成威脅，因此需要採取長期戰略嚟應對呢一挑戰。請睇詳細內容。
We're facing another challenge, and for the next 50 years, it's not going to go away. Last month would have been Karl Marx's 200th birthday, and one country actually built, paid for, and shipped a huge statue of Marx to his birthplace in Trier, Germany. That country was the People's Republic of China. China today, and this underscores how dedicated they are to continue the principles of communism around the world. Since Nixon opened relations with China, generations of foreign policy experts have thought that giving China more access to our markets and an increasing standing in the world would make the country freer, more capitalistic, and lean toward our values. Well, we have all been very wrong. And to deal with China, Washington has got to start thinking long-term, however. In 1789, when George Washington took office as our first president, China had indeed the largest economy in the world at that time. Not many Americans know that. Now they're aiming to reclaim what they believe is their rightful place in the world order and displace us in the process. If we want to protect our freedoms, we cannot ignore this any longer. We've got to pay attention to this drive from China. I used to live there. This is real. Their One Belt, One Road initiative is the largest global infrastructure investment since the Marshall Plan after World War II. At the same time, the Chinese government's commitment to total control of its people is strengthening at an ever-increasing rate today. I was just over there. In March of this year, President Xi Jinping consolidated power and became president for life, just like Mao Zedong. In April, the Chinese government continued its crackdown on Christianity by banning online Bible sales. Today, the Bible is the only major religious text, guys, that you cannot buy commercially in the People's Republic of China. That's unacceptable. In addition, the Chinese government is creating a social credit score.
隨住美國後任總統川普就任時間嘅臨近，中美世紀之戰到咗關鍵路口。 回顧江文貴先生一早嘅爆料，中美面臨嘅3個戰爭係貨幣、能源及金融戰。呢個背後嘅決定因素係價值觀同信仰嘅本質。請睇詳細內容。
中美之間的這個仗就是3個大仗，根本不存在什麼貿易戰。第一戰貨幣戰，打的是貨幣，今天打的核心是貨幣。中美之間的貨幣和人民幣，美國最大的威脅就是人民幣要使用了。你們不知道，過去幾年在中東、非洲已經很多叫貿易向下的交易貨幣改為人民幣了，這是美國感到威脅了。第二就是能源，美國從過去的進口國變成出口國，這個能源一個是中東，一個是這。現在整個非洲的安哥拉，千萬不要小看了安哥拉，佔中國石油能量的20%，那個國家已經100%的被中共給藍金黃了。其中藍金黃的核心成功者，關鍵者就叫徐經華，只有20%的原油，中國2%來自安哥拉，非洲那個國家是最被成功的藍金黃的，委內瑞拉是第2成功的，然後是馬來西亞，然後現在是中東的幾個國家。這個裡邊最核心除了要你的油，還有人民幣交易，是人民幣和能源是這2場戰。第3場戰是什麼？大家現在沒搞明白。金融就中國金融開放，美國這幾十年就想你把金融開放就像打架一樣。哥們兒，你別說別的，你把門打開，只要開了門，人家進入撒泡尿就把這共產黨給淹死了，不用打，不用顛着槍顛着斧子進來，不存在什麼人民幣，也不存在共產黨。大家記住這話，這3場仗最後的根本的支持他的有2大問題：價值觀，他壓根就不認為你這個價值觀是跟我一樣的，你就是我的威脅。原來你跪在地上裝着牛，實際你是跪着我的，跪美親歐，骨子裡佩服人家歐洲的，要不然幹嘛坐人家金馬車去花那麼多錢？要不幹嘛到人家國家講個話那麼牛啊？要不幹嘛自己子女都送到美國送到歐洲去？當然是跪美親歐嘛。那麼人家覺得你跪着，我就是當這個奴才用得了。但是他發現你想嘗試站起來的時候，我必須滅了你。你想站起來指我3個動作：能源上打破我這個國際上的格局，貨幣上你想弄，金融上你想自己藏着小私錢，自己可以印錢了，那不行。關鍵問題為啥那麼煩你？除了利益的核心，更大的核心是價值觀，就是他不認可你的價值觀。另外一個信仰，人家信基督教、天主教、猶太教，咱信啥教啊？信烏托邦。你去想想，人家面對着一幫沒有教的人，他咋能跟你一心呢？這就是說宗教的不同，價值觀的不同，決定了呢3場戰爭。
江文貴先生喺2021年嘅直播裏面已經預告咗中美關係，包括美國國會通過對中共嘅一系列制裁，最終通過中共內部滅共，消滅極少數嘅共產黨核心勢力，然後令中國人民通過1人1票選出自己嘅政府。只有咁樣，中國同世界先至能夠達成真正嘅千年和平協議。
中美之間絕不可能再出現任何一個尼克森和基辛格。中美之間的關係只有2個關係，一個幹掉共產黨，由美國和聯合國全世界各國共同支持一個新的中國政府。這有可能是先經濟脫鈎懲罰，然後到最後的局部戰爭斬首，這是一種方式。第2種方式就是美國通過議會，美國通過整個國會，通過一系列的法律政策對中共的制裁，中國內部內亂，然後出現大量的人道危機，最後是中國內部就是要斬首，要把共產黨的上面全滅掉，中國出現多個政府，各省獨立，中國亂上個幾百年，就這樣。那叫什麼？那叫中美關係，那叫中美之間的災難。那不是毀壞的中國人，也毀壞美國，毀壞世界。所以美中關係它只有一個最好的選擇，將共產黨徹底斬首消滅極少數人，然後讓中國人選出1人1票的政府，讓中國人和世界真的有1000年的和平協議，讓中國的大地能重新能孕育萬物，不再用這個毒來毀掉這個大地，也不要再有這種超量的工業化生產毀掉空氣和水，讓天空藍起來，中國人民過上幾十年上百年的樸實無華的生活，也別夢想着統治到世界，否則的話這個世界大亂，人類大戰，是人類甚至大滅亡。共產黨打核戰的事你想都不用想，他既沒這個能力，他也沒這個種，他有這個能力有這個種，他也做不到，這個一點都不用想。
Naomi Wolf 博士近日同史提夫班農一齊喺作戰室進行討論，中共製造嘅新冠疫苗裡面嘅脂質納米顆粒正在從根本上改變人類，並根據進一步嘅調查指出，中國 嘅上海吳氏生物技術公司係脂質納米顆粒嘅主要生產商，並同輝瑞存在深度嘅合作，包括購買其股權同工廠。請睇詳細報導。
By the way, I just want to make sure people understand you're talking about the Chinese Communist Party, right? That's the CCP. Yes. is the manufacturer. Go ahead, ma'am.
That is who I'm talking about. So I've been very worried about lipid nanoparticles, as you all know, and my latest Substack shows abundant evidence that they can cause changes in people that a lot of people are noticing about their vaccinated loved ones. They cross the blood-brain barrier, but they also can demyelate nerves, and what that means is, that's where thought, emotion, movement, sensation, all these things that make us human, are located. So there is some evidence that the changes that we're seeing in our loved ones who are vaccinated are based on the real action of these lipid nanoparticles that go through every membrane in the human body. But more specifically, I started looking at who's manufacturing these lipid nanoparticles. Well, guess what? It's China. And not only is China, a company called Wuxi Pharmaceuticals in Shanghai, producing the Wuxi Biologics, producing the lipid nanoparticles, but Karen Kingston pointed out that the CDC had their trials for the vaccines. 9 of the trial locations and trial oversights in 2020 were in China. And one of them was, believe it or not, overseen by the People's Liberation Army of China. I'm going to say that again. Our CDC, our Rochelle Walensky, when they were running the trials for this mRNA injection that everyone was forced to get, mandated to get, 9 of the sites, 9 of the oversight of what was happening were in China. One was overseen by the military of China. I'm going to remind you that I keep saying this is a bioweapon. This is a bioweapon. I'm going to move on. Wuxi Biologics of Shanghai doesn't just manufacture the lipid nanoparticles that are in all of these mRNA injections. They actually bought a chunk of Pfizer. They bought a Pfizer production plant in China, so they bought a part of the company of Pfizer. I remember I'd reported that there was a memorandum of understanding. Well, they are actually now a Chinese company, meaning a CCP managed company, as everything is in China, owns a chunk of Pfizer. Not only that, this past month, September of 2022, our FDA, that complicit FDA that signed off on all of the atrocities and mass murders and disabilities and horrors and poisoning of women and babies in the Pfizer documents, our FDA and the European Medicines Association, which is their FDA, signed off on an agreement. They okayed Wuxi to produce drugs and injections for Europe and America. And then Wuxi opened plants in Germany, Switzerland, and now in Worcester, Mass, to manufacture Pfizer injections and other drugs. So that's the third plant owned by China making these injections.
美國國防政策分析師以及安全政策中心創始人弗蘭克·加夫利近日話，美國正面臨3股極權主義嘅勢力，即中國共產黨、世界經濟論壇嘅法西斯分子以及伊斯蘭教至上主義者。儘管呢3股力量嘅目標不盡相同，但佢哋正在合作消除阻礙各自野心嘅唯一真正障礙就係美國。請睇詳細內容。
We face today 3 strains of totalitarianism. The Chinese Communist Party is using unrestricted warfare and Maoist revolutionary techniques to achieve global hegemony. World Economic Forum fascists are pursuing sovereignty-crushing resets to achieve governance of the entire planet. And Sharia supremacists, whether Sunni or Shiite, demand a universal caliphate. Those who have suddenly seized power in Syria, as we've heard, for example, are making no secret of their determination to destroy Israel and impose Islam worldwide. While these 3 groups have obvious differences about their desired end states, they are working together now to eliminate the only real impediment to their respective ambitions, namely the United States. Make no mistake, the CCP's communists, the WEF fascists, and the Islamists are coming for us. In fact, they're already here in significant numbers and must without delay be identified, deported, or otherwise thwarted from taking down America.
針對福奇嘅種種罪行，美國議員蘭德保羅公開話，佢會向新任司法部長提交一份刑事案件移交書，對福奇博士進行刑事指控，令歷史對福奇做出最嚴厲嘅審判。請睇詳細新聞。
House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic released the final report, and it was pretty revealing for everybody who hasn't been paying attention to you or me, to be honest with you, for the last few years. We figured out our entire government is corrupt. We screwed the whole thing up. They tried to screw over people like Dr. J, like you just said. The question is now, Senator, is there any mechanism, anything we can do to hold these people to account? There has to be some sort of a reckoning, or all these scumbags are going to do what they did next time, the first chance they get.
You know, we've discovered that the government is still funding Anthony Fauci. He's retired, and yet the government spent $15 million on him last year, providing him with an armed security detail and a limo driver. So he's working at Georgetown, supposedly. Who knows how much they're paying him? Maybe $1 million. We know he got $1 million from a private foundation, but he has all of this money and this great personal wealth, and we're ferrying him around in a limo driver with armed security. It's treatment we give to former presidents. We're treating him like a former president, which is crazy and obscene. Hopefully the Trump administration will stop that on day one. But I also will send to the new Attorney General a criminal referral. We sent it twice to Merrick Garland. In that criminal referral, we recount his testimony, but then we also juxtapose his private emails with his testimony. So we accuse him of lying to Congress based on evidence from his own emails. We don't have me accusing him of lying. We have Anthony Fauci corroborating that he lied by his private emails contradicting his public testimony. We will send those again. But I think most important, if we don't ever get to a criminal prosecution, even more important is that history examines and history rewards and puts him in a pile of malefactors who basically were responsible in many ways for the pandemic. So I think he will go down in history as a great advocate of this dangerous research called gain of function. He ignored and evaded all the safety protocols. There was a committee set up to study dangerous research, gain of function research. He went around that committee and exempted the research so it didn't have to be reviewed. And then when we asked him for the deliberations about why it wasn't dangerous, he then has hidden that for years, and his cronies have been hiding that for years. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and I think ultimately history is going to judge him harshly as someone who made a very, very dangerous and wrong-headed decision, and that was that the knowledge that you gain from gain of function was more important than the risk. And I think without question, after 15 million people died from COVID, that the risk of this type of research was not worth the knowledge that was gained.
美國國立衛生研究院早就被告知，截至2018年，武漢嘅研究人員已經對 SARS 病毒進行咗基因改造，令其喺肺裏面嘅病毒生長速度提高咗1萬倍，喺腦裏面嘅病毒生長速度提高咗100萬倍。並且喺人源化小鼠裏面，致死率提高咗3倍。所有跡象都表明，就係呢個研究項目帶嚟咗 COVID 病毒。
NIH was informed that the researchers in Wuhan, as of 2018, had engineered SARS viruses to have a 10,000 times increase in viral growth in lung, a 1 million times increase in viral growth in brain, and a 3 times increase in lethality when tested in mice that were engineered to possess human receptors for SARS viruses, so-called humanized mice. The NIH was informed of that twice in 2018, and that information should immediately have triggered a suspension of funding, followed by risk-benefit review before resumption of funding. Fauci chose not to flag the research, not to suspend funding, and not to forward the proposal for review. That is the research project that, by all indications, caused COVID-19, killing 20 million and costing 25 trillion. That project could have been prevented had, at any point from 2002 to 2019, Anthony Fauci listened to concerns that were expressed from the public from scientists and from science policy specialists and from the public's representatives in
We are the people, 老百姓 We gonna bury you, CCP
跟住落嚟係一組每日新聞簡報，針對中共軍方宣布9日至10號喺浙江及福建以東一帶空域開設7處空域保留區。台灣國防部表示，已經指導各級部隊嚴密監控敵情，各軍同步掌握東部戰區、北部戰區、南部戰區船艦編隊及海警船，分別進入台海周邊及西太平洋區域，執行遠海長航等活動。各軍協同海巡兵力嚴密監控應處。川普宣布由小肯尼迪以衛生與公眾服務部負責人嘅身份調查兒童疫苗及其與自閉症嘅潛在聯繫，以及其他可能嘅原因。穆勒納爾話，中共喺台灣、日本、韓國同菲律賓等地區表現出咄咄逼人嘅態度，正成為鄰里間嘅霸凌者，並不斷擴大其全球惡意影響力。五角大樓官員透露，中共國正利用對俄羅斯喺烏克蘭戰爭裏面嘅支持，加深自己喺北極嘅立足點。中俄兩國喺北極展開咗前所未有嘅軍事合作。中共國河南多地銀行儲戶近日發起異常向當地派出所討飯嘅行動，原因係目前儲戶嘅錢攞唔出嚟，又去唔到北京同鄭州上訪，就只能到當地派出所要飯。我哋重申，中國共產黨係全世界災難嘅根源，只有消滅中國共產黨，先至能夠拯救全人類。感謝大家收睇每日滅共新聞，我哋下次再會。
Take down the CCP, take down the CCP, take down the CCP, 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 take down the 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 CCP, 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 take down the CCP, take down the CCP, take down the CCP.
Take down the CCP, take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. Let me tell you what I've been through, baby. Lived a life that was hella unfair. Seen things that been driving me crazy. In a country where the leaders don't care. Didn't think we had the courage to change it. Tore it down and they weren't prepared. Everything that they kept us from saying, now we talking and they better be scared. Take from us. Tell us what and who to love. Swear I finally had enough. It's time to rise above. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. I said, hey, down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Communism's dead to me because it killed our families. Fuck the CCP.
Communism sucks, hard for me to give a fuck. Try to tell them and they try to keep it on the hush. Middle finger up, turn into a fist. They wanna keep the poor so they never rich. If you wanna see the future, look into the past. Been a century of silence, we gon' take it back. I'm just stating facts, tell you how it is. Ain't no way to change shit if we don't resist.
Take from us. Tell us what and who to love. Swear I finally had enough. It's time to rise above. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. I said, take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Communism's dead to me because it killed our families. Fuck the CCP.
这是你我维护正义的必须，这是你我维护正义的必须。
CCP. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Communism's dead to me because it killed our families. Fuck the CCP.